Hello dear students, good afternoon. How are you all? This is Rajesh Dadich, your mentor in English for class 11. Hope you all are in the pink of your health, enjoying. So dear students, today we are going to start your second chapter of the book Woven Words. And what the chapter is? Have a look. A pair of mustachios. Mustachios means mustache, right? A pair. This is a pair. One this side, one this side. So, we male folk have taken it for our an, ban and shan, means our name and fame, our self-respect, self-prestige, right? So, different countries, different customs regarding this mustache, the custom of possessing mustache, and different countries, different opinions about them. Some have long, some have short, some have straight, some have upwards, some have downwards. So, different people, different mustache customs, right? But one thing is for sure, and that is this is the symbol of one's prestige, one's name, one's self-respect, grandeur, right? So, this is a very interesting story we are going to learn, and I hope you will surely like it. Shall we start? Have a look. And this chapter, A Pair of Mustache, was written by Mulkaraj Anand. We'll learn about the writer later at the end of the chapter, but now let's start with this story. There are various kinds of mustaches worn in my country to mark the boundaries between the various classes of people. Yes, different boundaries are there, means partitions are there on the basis of mustache and their customs, right? Outsiders may think it stupid to lay down or rather to raise lines of demarcation of this kind. But we are notorious in the whole world for sticking to our queer old conventions, prides and prejudices, even as the Chinese or the Americans or for the matter the English. And at any rate, some people may think it easier and more convenient to wear permanent boundary lines like mustaches. So dear students, very long sentences are there, and sometimes you may come across different vocabulary, different words. So don't worry about that. Overall, the story is very interesting and the language is very simple except a few complicated words. A few complicated, but not many, right? So have a look. Outsiders may think means some people from outside our nation, means foreigners, think it's stupid, we are stupid enough. They think to lay down or rather to raise lines of demarcation means to lay more and more stress on the importance of this petty matter, having mustache. So, some people think that we are stupid enough to have this kind of discussion on this petty matter, right? But we are notorious in the whole world. Notorious, it is a negative word, but here in this chapter we are not talking about being negative, anything negative we have done, no. But notorious means we are famous, right? We are famous in the whole world for keeping this queer means strange, old conventions. We have taken it for one of the conventions or practices. Prides, this is the symbol of a pride and prejudices, right? Even as the Chinese, and this is not the case in India only, but this is similarly popular in other countries like China, America, England, right? English means England, okay? And at any rate, some people may think it easier and more convenient to wear permanent boundary lines. Some people think that it is very easier to set some boundary lines, that boundary lines regarding their caste, regarding their classes, different communities according to their shapes and size of mustache. Like mustache, which only need a smear of grease, a sticky glue-like substance, that is grease, right, to keep them bright and shiny rather than to wear frock coats. Some people think that mustache must be shiny, fixed in a particular shape, right, and some people do not believe in all these practices, but they think that we should spend more and more money on outfits, dresses to look attractive and gorgeous. Okay. So, constantly need to be laundered and like wear frock coats, stiff trousers and top hats which constantly need to be laundered. But we think if we believe in spending money on these outfits, one problem is there. If we wear them, if we are spending more money on these outfits, then we will have to spend some more money on getting them washed, laundered, dry cleaned, right? So, and dry cleaned, and the maintenance of which is already leading to the bankruptcy of the European ruling classes. So many ruling classes in the Europe are there who are spending, who believe in spending a lot of money. They spend lavishly on their outfits because they want to look gorgeous, attractive, right? So, the result is they go bankrupt, means insolvent. They have nothing to spend now. They have spent the whole money. Now they are left with nothing. Ruling class. With them, clothes make the man, but to us, means their opinion is these clothes make the man, means make men attractive. But to us, mustache make the man. But our opinion is somewhat different. Means we think if we really want to look gorgeous, bold, impressive, attractive, means if we want to achieve an impressive personality, then we should go for impressive mustache, right? So, we prefer the various styles of mustache to mark the differences between the classes. So, in India, now let us discuss about India, means people of India, what kind of practices are there regarding mustache practice, we must say. So, let us see. And very unique and particular symbols they are too. For instance, there is the famous lion mustache. This chapter has got satirical impact, satirical touch. The writer has used satires on this practice, right? Lion mustache, the fearsome, upstanding symbol of that great order of resplendent Rajas, Maharajas, Nawabs and English army generals who are so well known for their devotion to the King Emperor. Yes, the first, here the writer is using different kinds of mustache. He is giving the examples of various kinds of mustache, and to begin with, the first kind of mustache is known as lion mustache, number one. So, please write somewhere, keep it in your mind, lion mustache, and it is the symbol of resplendent Rajas because they believed in their splendor, glory, right? So, Rajas, Maharajas, Nawabs, royal people, okay. So, then there is the tiger mustache. Number two mustache is tiger mustache. First is belonging to the royal people. Second is the tiger mustache, the uncanny, strange, several pointed mustache worn by the unbending, unchanging survivals from the ranks of the, means these tiger mustache belongs to the people who are very rigid and adamant and harsh and rude on ruling over people, right? So, these two kinds have been given in the chapter. Now, have a look. Feudal gentry means hot-blooded communities, classes of people who have nothing left but pride in their greatness and a few mementos of past glory, scrolls of honor granted by the former emperors, a few gold trinkets, heirlooms and bits of land. Means in this category, spoiled man who actually they do not have anything royal now, they used to have, and whatever they have got, so called royal things, royal splendor they have got, that is just because of their ancestors, forefathers, and it is said that their forefathers belonged to some royal families of that time. That's why they are just showing off, flaunting people they are. So we can say lion mustache belongs to the people of royal lineage, right? And the second one is tiger mustache, that is related to the people who used to be royal, means we talk about the glory of their forefathers or ancestors, but actually they do not have anything that much. Next, there is the goat mustache. So dear students, this is third kind of mustache, right? Third kind, and that is goat mustache. The goat mustache, what is this? Let's have a rather unsure brand worn by the novice, the new commercial bourgeois, and the shopkeeper class who somehow don't belong, an indifferent thin little line of mustache worn so that its tips can be turned up or down. Mind it, can be turned up and down as the occasion demands. This kind of mustache, in short we can say this type of mustache are possessed by the people who change themselves according to circumstances and occasions. They are just changeable. Yes, manageable they are. Means sometimes they feel like getting them upwards, and sometimes they feel like getting the tips of their mustache downwards or upwards according to occasion, according to the demand of the occasions, right? So a show of power to some coolie or humility to a prosperous client. Okay, so now there comes the fourth kind of mustache, and that is Charlie Chaplin mustache. You know Charlie Chaplin, you all must have heard the name of this comedian. He is no more, but earlier he was, and he was known as one of the greatest comedians of the world. So this is fourth kind of mustache, Charlie Chaplin mustache, worn by the lower middle class. Who used to possess them? Lower middle class, right? Lion we have learned, tiger we have learned, then goat we have learned this, and there is Charlie Chaplin mustache worn by the lower middle class. Please keep writing them separately somewhere on the piece of paper. By clerks, and who used to wear them? Middle class people, clerks, professional men, a kind of half and half affair, deliberately means intentionally designed as a compromise between the traditional full mustache and the clean shaven cousin. Very small mustache they used to keep as a symbol of their pride. They were not at all allowed, they were not at all supposed to wear full long tiger or lion like mustache, right? So compromise between the traditional full mustache and the clean shaven cousin, Lord Curzon we are talking about, he used to maintain this kind of mustache. Curzon cut of the sahibs, and he used to look like sahibs, right? Bureaucrats, like them to keep mustaches at all. There is the sheep mustache, okay students. So this is fifth kind of mustache, and that is sheep mustache of the coolies. What kind of people used to keep them? Coolies and the lower orders, right? Below middle class used to keep them. And there comes the next one is sixth kind of mustache, and this is mouse mustache. This is known as, right? And who used to keep them? The peasants and the poor people, paupers, poor people like that. They used to keep. So dear students, this all is the description of different kinds of mustache. I hope you all have got it. Now let's discuss something else. Actually, what this chapter is about. So we are going to study. In fact, there are endless styles of mustache, right? All appropriate to the wearers and indicative of the wearer's various orders as rigorously adhered to as if they had all been patented by the government of India or had been sanctioned by special appointment with His Majesty the King or Her Majesty the Queen. Here, these lines have satire by the writer. The writer has used satire in these lines. The writer is saying, it seems that some government organizations, royal people like King, Queen, His Majesty, Her Majesty, might have issued some patents regarding this. It seems so. This is just a satire comment, right? But without, satire is a comment without hurting people, but to give a message as a comment for the improvement, okay? So, and any poaching on the style of one class by members of another is resented. Yes, this is very important. Try to get it. If anybody poaching, that means trespass, means to hold over, means if anybody is supposed to have, for example, if anybody is supposed to have goat style mustache and that person is found having tiger mustache, then people may take it otherwise and they may get angry, right? They may take an action against that person. And the rising ratio of murders in my country is interpreted by certain authorities as being indicative of the increasing jealousy with which each class is guarding its rights and privileges in regard to the mark of the mustache. Means, in our country there are so many villages, they have taken it as their pride of classes, communities in their villages, and in this way different people, different styles of mustache. Out of the 6 we have already discussed, and people are so much rigid about that, so much aware of their style that they are ready to go to any extent to maintain this pride of their mustache. Of course, the analysis of the expert is rather too abstract, means understood, and not all the murders can be traced to this cause, but certainly it is true that the preferences of the people in regard to their mustaches are causing a lot of trouble in our parts. As I told you, the villagers, these people of certain communities of classes are ready to go to any extent that sometimes murders can also be there. Yes, if we use this term murders, this will not be an exaggeration. Means, in short, we can say mustache has become a symbol of one's pride according to the class one is in. For instance, there was a rumpus in my own village the other day about a pair of mustaches. Yes, now the story, the main story starts, right? Earlier we have learnt about the background of mustaches and the comments and the practices about this mustaches. Now we are going to learn the real story mentioned in this chapter, right? What happened exactly one day? So let's see. There was a rumpus, there was an event full of quarrels, hot words, right? In my own village the other day, someday, we are talking about a pair of mustaches. Yes, this issue was based on keeping this practice of mustache. It so happened that Seth Ramanand, so we are talking about the main character of this chapter is Ramanand, and the another character is, we'll know later, not now. So, it so happened that Seth Ramanand the grocer, he was a grocer and moneylender who had been doing well out of the recent fall in the prices of wheat by buying up whole crops cheap from the hard-pressed peasants and then selling them at higher prices, took it into his head to twist the goat mustaches. Means, we are talking about this Ramanand, and he was a grocer, and what he was doing, he was a well-to-do grocer in the whole village. He was very rich, and how he had earned money, actually there was a downfall in the village regarding the prices of crops. So, the prices of crops was so much down that he purchased he bought almost everything from the peasants, but at very low price, and he believed in black marketing, and he used to purchase them at lower price and he used to sell them at a comparatively very high price, and in this way he was minting money, right. So what I was telling, Ramanand, he used to have goat mustache, integral to his order and position in society. Whatever the position he had in the society, accordingly he had this mustache at the tips, so that it looked nearly like a tiger mustache. Though he had goat mustache, but off and on he used to make them look, he used to make the tips of the mustache look like the tips of tiger mustache, look like that of a tiger mustache, right. Nobody seemed to mind what I told you earlier, that the villagers, the people in that village were so much aware of their practice according to the types of mustache, that they were ready to go to any extent while taking an action against the person. But here they were not at all able to do anything against this Ramanand, against this grocer Ramanand. Yes, because he was just a grocer, he was just a businessman, and he was supposed to possess, he was supposed to maintain goat like mustache only, not beyond that, but his mustache looked like that of tiger mustache, and the villagers were not able to do anything against him. Why? The reason is here, because this is one of the questions, why were the villagers not able to do anything against Ramanand? Look, the reason is nobody seemed to mind very much, because most of the mouse mustache peasants, the last one is mouse mustache, you know, and very, very poor people like peasants and farmers used to have this kind of mustache. So these mouse mustache peasants in our village are beholden to the local moneylender, means he had lent money to these villagers, to these poor peasants. That's why they were overburdened, right. Either because they owe him interest on a loan or an installment on a mortgage of jewelry or land. They had already borrowed money from this moneylender, this man grocer. Okay, so Ramanand, besides the Seth, who is Seth? This Ramanand, okay, grocer, he was very rich. That's why people in India call the rich man as Seth. So the Seth had been careful enough to twist his mustache so that it seemed nearly, though not quite, like a tiger mustache. That's why this Ramanand the grocer was not at all afraid of keeping sometimes his mustache look like tiger mustache. He was not at all worried. But there lives in the vicinity of a village, vicinity means neighborhood, in a village, in an old dilapidated Mughal style house, a Mussalman named Khan Azam Khan, who claims descent from an ancient Afghan family whose heads were noblemen and councillors in the court of the great Mughals. Yes, in the neighborhood of that same village, there lived a Muslim, there lived a Mussalman, and he used to think of himself in a different way. He used to regard him as one of the descendants, as has been given, means he used to belong himself as one of the descendants of the royal Mughal family, right. So Khan Azam Khan, a tall, this is the physical structure, a tall middle-aged man, is a handsome and dignified person, and he wears a tiger mustache and remains adorned, what I told you, listen, adorned with the faded remnants of a gold brocaded waistcoat, though he hasn't even a patch of land left. I told you the second kind of mustache, tiger mustache. This type of mustache are possessed by the people who, though they do not have anything remain, but still they have some parts, some things belonging to their ancestors, forefathers, royal forefathers or ancestors, right. So he is also Azam Khan, Azam Khan also has this kind of mustache.